Hello students, today we are going to study the next topic, that is the structure of contractile protein. If we study the microscopic observation of a fragment of muscle, we come to realize beta that a muscle, it is made up of a number of muscle bundles which are best known as fascicles. So you can see here I have drawn these number of muscle bundles, fascicles, and when we study single fascicle, it is also consists of number of muscle cells which are also called muscle fibers. So single muscle fiber or muscle cell, if we drawn, it is again reveals these filamentous structure which are called myofibrils, and when we observe under microscopic manner in high magnification, so single myofibril, it reveals or shows these bands like structure. Light bands, they are precisely called I bands. Dark band, they are given name as A bands. So these band in myofibril, they are nothing else but the distribution of two special proteins called actin proteins and myosin proteins. Actins, they are arranged in the light band, whereas myosin, they are arranged into the dark bands. So we have to study the structure of contractile proteins. That means we have to study the structure of actin proteins and the structure of myosin protein. So let us study about the structure of actin protein first. When we talk about the structure of actin protein beta, the actin protein itself, it is consist of three different proteins, and these proteins name are as follows. Number one, it is F-actin or filamentous actin. The second protein which is helping in making of actin protein, it is tropomyosin. And one more protein which is found in actin filament, it is called troponin. So these three different proteins, they actually build the thin filament actin. Okay, let's see the structure. The two chain of F filament or F actin filaments, they wound helically together. So first of all, I'm drawing here. This is one chain of filamentous actin or F-actin. It is precisely called F-actin, filamentous actin. Okay, so it is one chain, and likewise one more chain, it is present in actin filament. And these chains of two F-actin, they are actually helically wound together. That we should keep in our mind in that manner. They are helically wound, helically. You can see that helical structure curl with each other beta. So these two F-actin chain or filamentous actin chain, first of all, they take structure into the actin, and each filamentous actin chain, it is the polymer which is made up of monomer of globular actin. So each singular round shaped structure of protein you are seeing here, you are looking here beta, it is globular actin protein. Okay, so each chain, it is the polymer. We know in the chemistry polymer means a macromolecule which is made up of a number of monomers, single molecules. So this globular actin proteins, they arrange in chain form and they form F-actin filament or filamentous actin chain. Okay, two chains are wound together in actin protein. Along with it, along with these two chains of filamentous actin, one more protein, as we have already written. So two strip of one more protein, it is also run along with the F-actin chains throughout the whole length of F-actin chain. And these two chains, they are made up of one more protein called tropomyosin. So this is one chain I have drawn. One more chain here I am going to draw in that manner, and here also in that manner, beta. So you can see the two strip of one more protein, I have already given the name, that is tropomyosin. So this is the chain or strip of tropomyosin. Okay, tropomyosin. These two strips are also run throughout the length of F-actin chains. Okay, in single filament of actin we are talking about. And one more special protein, it is distributed by a regular interval on tropomyosin, and this special protein, it is also called troponin. So these three different type of proteins are actually arranged in this pattern, beta, in this pattern, sorry. Okay, this troponin, it is interval manner, it is going to be distributed as interval manner. And we should also know about this thing, as I was telling, actin, they are the thin filament. Okay, suppose these are the actin, so they are the thin filament, beta, and these thin filament actin, which is present in I band. So singular actin is made up of in that manner. Don't get confused that it is made up of three different proteins, so it is thick. No, no, no. It is thin filament, but it is actually made up of three different proteins. First of all, as we have discussed, the two filamentous actin chains, they helically wound together, and one more protein called tropomyosin. The true strip of tropomyosin runs throughout the whole length of these two F-actin chains, and one more protein called troponin, it is distributed after a regular interval onto the tropomyosin. Okay, so this is the structure. One more thing you have to know about, that these globular protein, which are actually the monomer of filamentous actin chain, they shows one specific area called active sites. So that we also understand, beta, about actin structure. I am going to explain in easy manner, so you people are easily able to understand, bacho. So this is the area of globular protein which is called active site. It is called active site for myosin protein. Myosin is thick filament. So for myosin protein, this site of globular actin, it is referred as active site. And these active sites, these are masked by the troponin protein at the resting place. That means when there is no muscle contraction, these sites are not exposed. They are not exposed. Okay. So these sites, these active sites of globular actin protein, they are masked or covered by the troponin protein. Okay, this is the concept, bacho, in resting stage. Okay, so as we have done the structure of actin, we will also discuss about the structure of myosin. Okay, now let's study about the structure of myosin protein. So as we all know that myosin protein, it is the thick protein, and this thick protein, it is placed onto the A band, right? So this myosin protein, it is made up of one more protein, monomers of protein, that is called meromyosin. Okay, that we have to keep remember in our mind beta, that this myosin protein, it is made up of a number of monomers called meromyosin. So what is the structure of meromyosin? Okay, I am going to give you the structure of meromyosin, and this structure of meromyosin, it shows three different area. First, its globular head, its short arm, and then its tail. The three regions of meromyosin we can see here in single monomer, that means in single molecule of meromyosin, and these meromyosins, the number of meromyosins arranged in the thick filament myosin protein. Okay, so we are drawing the structure of meromyosin beta, don't get confused. Meromyosin, it is the monomer, that means when number of meromyosins they arrange together, they form myosin protein, thick filament. So in single meromyosin, this is the structure we can easily see in beta. The bilobed globular head, this is the short arm, and then the tail region. So here we are going to draw this diagram in good manner. I am trying my best to make you understand, bachon. And here, this is the structure we are getting. Okay, are you getting this? So it is the singular structure, it is a single meromyosin molecule. Don't get confused. It's having bilobular, that means two globular head area. So the three regions present into meromyosin, it is its globular head, and this is short arm, and finally the tail region. So you can see in one meromyosin, this is the arrangement. So bilobular, that means two globular heads are present. So both these are regarding as heads. Don't get confused, bachon. And it is single molecule of meromyosin. This is the structure beta. These are the short arms. These three regions, globular heads of meromyosin, short arm and tail, these this whole structure of meromyosin beta, it further divided into two components. One, it is called HMM, heavy meromyosin component. Okay, I am writing here, heavy meromyosin component. And this heavy meromyosin component, it is made up of globular head as well as this short arm. These two structure of myosin, they constitute the unit HMM, or called heavy meromyosin component unit. Okay. Now the tail region, this tail region, it is also categorized into one component which is called LMM. So it is called light meromyosin component. Okay, I am writing here to make you understand. Light meromyosin component. Okay, so the single molecule of meromyosin, it consists of heavy meromyosin component, that means globular head and its short arm, whereas light meromyosin component LMM, which contains only tail, and all those regions are adjoining together. Don't get confused, bachon. So here some more parts we have to study. the area on globular head of meromyosin, one region it is present on the globular head beta. This region is called actin binding site. Okay, it is called actin binding site. That means this, by this reason, these globular heads, they are going to attach with the actin filament, and in actin filament in which, at the globular actin filament. Okay, we will discuss, don't worry, don't get confused. First of all, let's discuss about it. So here the area, as we talked about, it is actin binding site, both this region, that is also actin binding site. And one more site is present here, bacho, that is ATP binding site. So two different sites are present actually in single molecule of meromyosin at the globular head region. Okay, two different sites. First, that is actin binding site, and other one beta, that is the, okay, I am writing here bacho, it is ATP binding site. Okay, it is ATP binding site. The ATP molecule, it is going to bind with this site. Okay, and this site also containing one special enzyme called ATPase. This ATPase enzyme helps in hydrolysis, that means breaking of ATP molecule. Due to hydrolysis, these globular heads, these meromyosin, they get energy and they project, making the cross bridge and helping in muscle contraction. That we will also study in next lecture. But this is the basic components, and these are the basic concept we have discussed today beta. Okay, so in meromyosin, what is meromyosin? The single unit of myosin protein. Myosin, it is the thick filament. So number of meromyosins, they form thick filament myosin protein. Each meromyosin, it is made up of three aspects: its globular head, it is bilobular, its short arm, as well as the tail region. The globular head and short arm, they constitute heavy meromyosin unit or component, whereas the tail region, it is only going to form light meromyosin component. Okay, the globular head containing two different regions. First, it is the actin binding site, which is going to attach with the globular actin protein. Okay, and that is one more site present into the globular protein, globular head of meromyosin. This site is called beta ATP binding site. This site also containing one enzyme which is named as ATPase. It is one enzyme which helping in hydrolysis of ATP. That means when ATP molecules is going to bind here, this enzyme going to break ATP into ADP and single phosphate. Okay, adenosine diphosphate and single phosphate molecule. So this breaking of ATP called hydrolysis, and that is done with the help of one enzyme called ATPase. Okay, okay, I hope ki bachcho your concept is now clear about the structure of contractile protein. So if you are having any doubt, also you can let me know about. Okay, so today we have accomplished the structure of contractile proteins. We have discussed the structure of actin, as well as we have discussed the actin of myosin. Thank you so much. God bless you all.